Okay, this is part 2 for lesson 30 for 7th grade, and we left off by doing a couple problems, and we're going to lead off with this one here. Here we have the subtraction of two mixed numbers. A couple different ways to do this one. We have 8 2/3 minus 5 1/6. I'll show you two different ways to do this. We can first of all just get a common denominator between the two fraction parts, so 2/3 and 1/6. We need to have that common denominator in order to do this subtraction. So nothing changes when we're doing it with mixed numbers. So 3 goes into 6, so I'm going to use 6 as the common denominator. That's the common multiple that they have. So to change 2/3 into something over 6, we go 3 times 2 is 6, so 2 over 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So instead of 8 2/3, we actually have 8 4/6 minus 5 1/6. Alright, now we can do that subtraction. We'll subtract our big numbers first. 8 and 5, we get 3. And 4 minus 1, we get 3. And 6 is our common denominator. But we know that 3 over 6 reduces to 1/2. So we'll divide by 3 over 3. And we get 3 and 1/2. Alright, that's one way that you can do that one. The other way you could do it is you could turn them improper. So if we turn them improper first, we'll do it this way. So I'm going to erase this one. And we'll remember that we got 3 and 1/2 here for an answer. Okay, so to turn these improper, we'll go 3 times 8, which is 24, plus 2 will be 26. So we get 26 over 3 minus 6 times 5 is 30. 30 plus 1 is 31. 31 over 6. We're still going to need a common denominator, and we do have some bigger numbers to work with here. So we still want to use a common denominator of 6, and we'll get 26 over 3 times what gives you something with a denominator of 6. Well, we'll still multiply by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 26 times 2 is 52. So instead of this, we can have 52 over 6 minus 31 over 6. Alright, so we're going to keep our common denominator. We'll get 6 there. 52 minus 31, we should get 21. And I know that 3 goes into both of those, so we can reduce this. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. And we should get 7 over 2. Well, if we were to turn that into a mixed number, 2 goes into 7 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. You get a remainder of 1. Put your remainder over your divisor, and you get 3 and 1/2. So we still got the same answer. Looks like it's a bit more work. Sometimes it's easier to go this way, sometimes it's not. That's just another way to do it. So you choose whichever way you want to do. And also remember that we might not always be able to do the subtraction without borrowing from whatever number's out front. For instance, if this fraction was smaller than this one, you would have to do some borrowing. So things to keep in mind. In that case, it might be easier to do the improper way. It's up to you. You can do it whichever way you want to. Alright, this is the last one we're going to cover today. And we want to get a common denominator between all three fractions. So we're looking at 2, 3, and 4 as denominators. So what do those all go into, or what's a multiple that they all share? And off the top of my head, I'm thinking, okay, 12. 12 is one that they all go into. So I'm going to change 1/2 into something over 12. And I'm going to have to multiply this by 6 to make that happen. 2 times 6 is 12. 1 times 6 is 6 over 12. Alright. 2/3 times what gives us the denominator of 12. 3 times 4 gives us that. 2 times 4 is 8. And our last one there, 3/4. So 4 times what gives us 12? 4 times 3 gives us 12. 3 times 3 is 9. So now we're going to add these fractions instead to have a common denominator now. So 6 over 12 plus 8 over 12 plus 9 over 12. We're going to add all those up. So we get 6 plus 8 is 14. Plus 9 would be 23. And that's our mixed number there. So that's not our mixed number, that's our improper fraction. So let's see, we will get 12 goes in there once. We do that subtraction, we get 11. So we get 1 and 11 over 12. One way to do it. I'm going to make sure that one's correct. Should be. I think we did everything right there. We did. Okay, so that is our lesson on more with fractions, and we're going to cover some more of that tomorrow. Thank you.